Fight on, men and women of blue and white, fight on with all your very might. Horse as high as our battle cry. Fight, horse heads, fight. Keep up the courage to keep goals in sight. Fight, horse heads, fight. For a horizon that is bright. Keep fighting, oh, the white and blue shall ever walk a path that's straight and true. Raise your head up to the sky for horse heads high. Yes, Horseheads won yesterday in a very decisive 35-18 win over Newark Valley. I know Newark Valley is not really a small school, but a win is a win. It is wonderful. I'm so happy for my team's third straight win. Yes, I mean, if this was like sort of a division and you had sectionals, Corning would still probably be number one. But let me tell you, Horseheads dominated, again, 35-18. Who could say no to that? And as such, I actually have to give out a Blue Hammer Award because, yes, not only did I find out that we won yesterday, but I also know, there's actually some stats for once and who actually did well. See, like, a week ago, I couldn't really do the Blue Hammer Award on Sunday because, they couldn't do, because, the news was slow or something. Although it was Easter, so maybe that's a good reason, I suppose. But I couldn't do it last week. I can do it today. I'm so happy. But before I do, let's get my low, my high, my act of kindness. I should probably be careful about how I swing this. So, okay, what was my low yesterday? Well, my low is that it was a particularly hot day yesterday, but it sort of cooled off a little bit. And I couldn't really spend as much time with my folks as I wanted to because I wanted to go shopping later in the evening. Because here's the thing. My high yesterday was not only did I see my family yesterday, but my mom's side of the family had a Zoom meeting. So it was a very nice meeting. And you know what? It was actually very fitting because, my mom never gets to see her siblings. And yesterday was National Siblings Day, which I took the time to remind my brother, Happy National Siblings Day. So I hope anyone who actually could celebrate had a great National Siblings Day. Or you know what? Forget that. If your friends and your brothers or sisters in that regard, they're your siblings too. That's how I feel. So to all my brothers from Trinity Pauling, hope you had Happy National Siblings Day. Next year I'll have to remind myself to do something pretty grandiose for it, if I can remember for Trinity Pauling. Anyway, but the way the Zoom meeting was scheduled, we ate dinner first, then we had the Zoom meeting, then my parents had to go shopping, and there's no reason why I should stay at my parents' place for waiting for them to get back, so I headed home. But it was very nice. And my act of kindness was actually several things. During the Zoom meeting, I reminded my mother's siblings that it was National Siblings Day. I helped prepare for the Zoom meeting because, my parents' computer crashed, and so, on their computer, they could see us, but we couldn't hear them. They could see us and hear us, but we couldn't hear them. We could see them, we couldn't hear them. So I tried doing it on my phone, and it definitely helped, only we could see and hear them, but they couldn't see us. I don't know, it was really weird, but it was still a wonderful time. So I helped set the Zoom meeting. I helped clean up after dinner. I helped my father bring dinner from Sorge's back to my folks' place because we ordered takeout. I had my usual, Del Monte steak topped with melted blue cheese and fries. Italian crumbly blue with extra onions on my salad and a little thing of minestrone soup. It was very lovely. My father had the famous chicken parm from Sorge's. It also came with spaghetti. And my mom had this one sort of chicken broccoli Alfredo dish, which looked really good. Actually, the Alfredo at Sorge's is pretty solid. I've had it before. It's actually very nice. I like Antiguan's a little bit better because it's less grainy in my opinion. But the one at Sorge's is still really good. Anyway, good morning. Happy Sunday. I have a Blue Hammer Award to give out, so let's do that. And the best part is, I have the stats to do so. And so, in this 35-18 decisive win over Newark Valley, rushing for 262 yards and 3 touchdowns, threw for 91 yards and 1 touchdown. Yes, the Blue Hammer Award is going to the QB, number 10 of the Horseheads Blue Raiders. Congratulations, and congratulations to the parents of number 10, because they were both my teachers, one my English teacher in 8th grade, one my Spanish teacher in 9th grade. And the more I think about it, it's starting to be a race between who can win more Blue Hammer Awards, number 10 or number 33. I swear I didn't really mean it like that, but here you go. But yes, congratulations, number 10. That is a very big day. Rushing for 262 yards. That is how you drop the hammer. I should be careful how I swing this. But yes, that is very exciting. And you know what? Actually, it's fitting that I'm giving out the Blue Hammer Award today, and I'm wearing my Blue Raider hoodie today, as they're both blue. And yesterday on Amphibia, we finally got to the second temple. It was a bit of not that it was a trek per se, but I'm really glad that we made it there. And the gem in that temple was, of course, blue. So, right, yesterday's episode of Amphibia was 2 11-minute segments, which, kind of straight. I just thought it kind of peculiar because the first temple had an entire 22-minute episode dedicated to it. Meanwhile, the second temple is like an 11-minute segment. I mean, I'm sure Matt Brawley and the good people behind Amphibia have a logical explanation for that, outside the fact that the second episode, Barrel's Warhammer, which I will get into momentarily, was very, very good as well. But obviously, Anne, Sprig, Hop Pop, Polly, and Marcy all fly on Joe, the Sparrow, to the second temple, which takes place in the amphibian Arctic. And car going by. Anyway, it's very cold up there, and they get to the temple, and it turns out there is nothing there. However, there's a hut with this old woman who we actually have seen before in a previous episode, the Bazaar episode. And it turns out that this woman is actually sort of like an elder, a sage, who is sort of like one of the mystics behind, the people behind the second temple. And it turns out that she's like, okay, I'm going to walk you guys over to the temple, and we'll see if you're worthy when we get there. And throughout the journey, there's a giant bird that attacks the planners, but Anne gives up her coat to save them. And the sage is like, no, you're very unworthy quality. And there was an avalanche going on. And it turns out there was people at the bottom of where the avalanche was going to be, even though there really wasn't. Apparently, everyone was out to lunch in this episode. It was a funny running gag. I'm not gonna lie. Anyway, so Anne tried to save people who, even though they weren't there, it was still very noble. But the sage is like, no, that's not worthy. And Anne is frustrated. She said what do you do? How do you know if I'm worthy or not? And it turns out that the sage actually transports her and Anne to Anne and her, the sage is, just one sort of dimension where they sort of have a conflict or a fight or something. It was actually a really cool fight scene. And it was actually a really fun thing where the soothsayer actually knows all about how Anne originally stole the Calamity Box. How, she once took the, Bessie out for a ride when she wasn't supposed to. Basically, the theme of this temple was heart. I mean, yes, doing good things, doing good deeds, helping people, that is great. And that really will get you far in life. But true heart comes from also accepting responsibility, which Anne technically does. It's sort of something that you could have seen coming, I suppose, but I didn't mind it at all. It was wonderful. And honestly, throughout the episode, Anne, was, in perfect poise. She did everything like she was supposed to do. And honestly, the episode was almost perfect until the very end, where they're charging the gem, but it turns out it takes a while for the gem to charge. Anne hears Marcy and others screaming. She leaves before the gem is fully charged, which, that's going to be a problem later. And it turns out Anne and Sprig are like, you mean to tell me that you made an unnecessary... Basically, they made this plot point for the sake of making a plot point, which I'm not 100% sure if that was a good thing. I mean, I like that sort of thing because it gives us something to worry about later. But I don't think they really need to go that far for it. All in all, though, the second temple, very wonderful. And now we get to Barrel's Warhammer. How very fitting, I'm holding a hammer here. It turns out that Sasha, Grime, and the other two toads who are with them, they're trying to recruit toads for the quote-unquote frog dang army that Grime said they wanted to make. So they go to like this one toad meeting, and they said, listen, we think we can take over Newtopia because you know what? Even though, like, we were meant to serve the king, but aren't we not servants ourselves? We should take over. And the toad's like, listen, if you find this legendary weapon called Barrel's Warhammer, bring it here. We will be more than happy to join you. And so Sasha's like, done. We'll be back by morning. So they go out and find the hammer, and they actually find it really easily. But here's the thing. The legend of Barrel is he was apparently the greatest toad warrior ever. And he used his hammer to try and stop a monster that was attacking a village. And legend has it, that monster still guards that very same monster guards that hammer to this very day. So what the heck happened to Barrel? Anyway, they find the hammer, but it turns out it's stuck in the ground. It turns out when they move it, it is on top of the beast's head. So there's a struggle, but it's that same giant monster. It looks like a cross between a narwhal and a worm, if that makes sense. Or a caterpillar or something. So they're like, listen, we'll steer the creature back to where the toad meeting is. And throughout the thing, Sasha is completely ignoring what she promised the other two toads. Like, listen, it was so funny. If we get into trouble, make a kawaii pose, which is like I can't really do it sitting in this chair, but you can look it up online. And it turns out that Sasha was more selfish in trying to get the hammer than the safety of her friends. So by the end of the episode, her friend's like, listen, Sasha, we wish you luck and we hope you succeed, but we're not doing this anymore. So it's just Sasha and Grime now, but at the same time, they brought the hammer back. They have all the support of the toads. They now have their frog dang army. I'm not gonna lie, I actually really like that pun. And so that's the end of the episode. Also, noteworthy moment. Sasha's trying to lift up the hammer. Her eyes glowed. They're probably going to call it red, but I'm going to call it purple. Her eyes glowed, just like Anne and Marcy does. So, that was awesome. That was real awesome. Like, are they going to do it here? Are they going to do it here? Her eyes go like, yes, yes, they did that. They actually did the thing. Okay, so, all in all, yesterday's episode of Amphibia was absolutely wonderful. I loved every second of it. I cannot wait until next week because we're going to have a new episode every week until May 1st when the season finale airs on May 1st, which I'm not going to lie, I'm really excited for. I'm really excited. I really want to see what happens next, man. I am not going to lie. I'm like stoked. Actually, let me look something up for a moment. Let me put the hammer down for a second. You want me to put the hammer down? Anyway. Why does it feel like May 1st isn't going to be a Saturday? Wait. No, it's a Saturday. I just realized it is a Saturday. Because during the Zoom meeting last night with my family, I had pointed out that Cinco de Mayo is going to be on Hump Day. Everybody actually laughed. So, yes. Actually, come to think of it, I'm pretty sure there's going to be a Horseheads football game every week until then. Cool. I honestly can't wait until next Saturday, because I do believe Horseheads is at home against Ithaca, which, thank goodness. Don't get me wrong, Ithaca is actually a very nice place. I don't want to drive all the way there, though. So, next Saturday, Horseheads has a game against Ithaca. Should be lots of fun. Definitely going to try and go to that one if I can. Had a great episode of Amphibia yesterday. And, once again, rushing for 262 yards and 3 touchdowns. Throwing for 91 yards and 1 touchdown. Number 10, the quarterback of the Horses Blue Raiders, you legit dropped the hammer. And that earns this award. Huh. You know what, since as long as, this is the first time I think this is the first time I did this where I didn't do, actually, I'm going to do it anyway. You will know, this award is blue. Okay, so like, favorite, share, subscribe button, follow me, subscribe notifications. I'm very humble in this video. For all of you guys watching, enjoy for today. Hope you have a wonderful, wonderful Sunday. And remember, if you guys want to talk to me, I'm always going to be here to lend an ear, and I'll always have your back. Take care and make good choices. And once again, congratulations, number 10. Go Blue Raiders. See ya.